Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants. Welcome to another edition of Handicapping Your MBA Odds. With me is...
Sandy Kreisberg, the HBS guru.
The legendary HBS guru.
Thank you.
We have kind of an interesting candidate, and I think it's going to be a good kind of case study for a lot of people who are out there who aspire to a good school. He is a 27-year-old Asian American male. His GMAT is 680. He has an interesting educational background. He started in community college.
Break out the GMAT. He's got a 47 quant and a very low
verbal,
35 verbal. And then he says he's taking MBA Math to compensate for the GMAT score. Now, I don't think taking MBA Math is going to convince an admissions committee that the 35 verbal doesn't count.
Right.
What's your advice about MBA Math as a way of putting a bandaid over a bad GMAT, John?
Well, if your quant score is better than your verbal score, and your verbal score is that low, well...
Just in general.
I mean, it generally helps, doesn't it? Can't hurt.
No, I think schools just care about the score. The only way you can make up for a GMAT score is...
Retake it.
To retake it.
Yeah.
This is tough love note number one.
And the verbal is way too low, right?
The verbal would cause some questions. Yeah.
Right. And then he started in community college. He had a 3.5 there. Then he went on to UC Riverside, majored in business, and ended up with a 3.14.
Okay, if that's concerning. Yeah.
Yep. And why is that concerning?
Starting out at a community college is something a school will wink at. You know, depending on your family background or your circumstances. That could be the right place to start. Doing okay there is good. Transferring to a school like
UC
Riverside, which is a middle part of the California system, is something they would appreciate. But you're supposed to get a 4.0 there, okay?
Or a 3.8.
Yeah, or a 3.8. So the fact that you can't hack it there would lead them to believe either you can't sit still and absorb information and spit it back. That's what they would believe. Or they may say, gee, we don't think this guy's too smart.
Then he has spent 5 years in the insurance industry.
Which is a silver, not a golden place where business schools go looking for applicants.
The last year and a half, or maybe
there was a part of that in wealth management.
For a year and a half.
Right.
For Guardian Life.
For Guardian Life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to open any doors. It's not going to go, oh, well, he works for an insurance company, but he was in wealth management. So that's the equivalent of investment banking. Adcoms don't think that way.
One thing I found interesting, however, is that he's involved in a task force at work on autonomous vehicles and their impact on the insurance industry over, the next 20 years. But that gives him exposure to senior management, and that gives him exposure to more broad level, high level kind of thinking in the industry. I think that's a plus for him.
It's a plus in that if he can make it into a selective task force, that's the only thing the school cares about. If he could say, this is a selective task force and an interesting one, the school will go, okay, I get it. This guy had a couple of false starts. He went to community college and then he transferred to middle level UC school, didn't do so well there, got a job in the insurance business. We don't view that as selective, but he really shined once he found his footing. That's the way this guy has to present himself.
Yeah. So, I mean, the most important advice you could give him is get the GMAT up and get both sides of it up, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. The best thing this guy could do, the toughest love is take the GMAT and keep taking it.
Until you get a...
700 in the... What?
Well, he's got a good choice of schools, so he's realistic about some of that, right?
Yeah. What's the word of the GMAT? In the famous words of Deirdre Leopold, the much beloved and former director of admissions at Harvard Business School. What does she say about the GMAT, John?
She says something like, I love every GMAT score as long as it has a 7 in front of it.
Yeah, right.
But now,
she said.
But she said
"I
that a
don't
few
care,"
years
she
ago.
said, "I don't care about your GMAT as long as it begins with a 7." Right.
And it may be because
Well,
of all
for
the
this
inflation
guy.
that has
Yeah,
gone
right.
on.
Yeah.
It's a bit more than just a 700.
Yeah.
It might be more like a 720 to get you in the range.
And I don't mean to infer that the beloved Ms. Leopold is not with us anymore. She's still employed at Harvard Business School. She is the director of the 2+2 admissions program.
Indeed. So the range of schools this guy wants to apply to: Kellogg, Michigan Ross Duke, UVA Darden, NYU Stern, also Cornell and UCLA.
Yeah, so tell me which one of those schools he is like doesn't have much chance of getting into just based on the numbers as they presently
I
exist.
don't think he's getting into UCLA or Kellogg. He has a real hard shot at Michigan or Darden and even Duke, based on the overall profile and the way it exists. You might have a shot at Cornell and NYU.
Yeah, okay, so look,
You know?
this is a muddled profile. It's not a profile that leads to selective acceptance. What this guy has to do is two things. He's got to rebrand himself as some kind of do-gooder within the insurance business, and he's got to get a higher GMAT. Or if the GMAT doesn't do it for GRE score also works.
I think he needs to also expand the range of schools. You might be looking at a Notre Dame, a Vanderbilt, an Emory. And I'll give you a little break here. I know you have an interest in data analytics. You're interested in autonomous vehicles and their future. Apply to Carnegie Mellon. Do yourself a favor. Carnegie Mellon is all about data analytics today. It's a great place to be. And in terms of a leader in autonomous vehicles and robotics and artificial intelligence,
Yes, it's in Pittsburgh.
Very hot school.
Which is a good place to test drive autonomous vehicles.
yeah, exactly.
A lot of empty streets there.
So you should check out Carnegie Mellon, but you're going to need a higher GMAT score to get into that school for sure.
There you go.
All right, how about odds though? We need to give them odds. Kellogg, 10%, huh?
Yes.
Duke and Ross,
Well,
15,
we're
10.
talking about real,
Really low.
real long reach.
Yeah.
You know, that's almost a better term. Long reach, like 10, 15%.
yeah. Cornell, 20.
Yes.
NYU, maybe 20. UCLA, 10.
Boy, this guy these schools don't match the material here. The best
Yeah.
advice in terms of give them odds on the schools you suggested, John.
Well, I think they double, easy.
Right.
You know, instead of 10 or 15 or 20, you're going to get up to 40.
Yeah, so we've done our work with the odds here. Friend, we take the GMAT and your odds get a lot better.
And what Sandy always says, take it and take it and take it.
Yes, right.
All right. Well, good luck to you and to all of you out there. Good luck on your journey to an MBA. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.